Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Four Dads Podcast with your host, Don Julio, and myself, Teeds. Hope you guys had a good week. What is it, mid-March, just towards the end of March. It's starting to heat up a little bit, starting to rain. It's probably raining here tomorrow. Is it probably
It's
going to rain there as
it's
well?
it's dumping
Sorry.
on me right now.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's raining cats and dogs right now. I mean, I
Cats and
can
dogs.
I
Ugh.
can literally hear the rain
The
through my
rain right now?
headset. Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. So, yeah, we're getting some of that tomorrow. It was like literally 75 for like this whole week. It was
Same.
perfect.
Same.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, a few things to talk about this week. You know, with one being the Players Championship, Scotty Scheffler had an amazing fourth round. You know, the final round, and apparently, in the whole 50 years of the Players Championship, he's the only one ever to win back-to-back years, which is
Yeah.
crazy. And then I also saw that they showed pictures of like last year's championship, him holding the trophy with his wife, and then this year
Mhm.
holding the championship with his wife, and his wife's pregnant this year, which
Mhm.
is pretty interesting. I had no idea that she was pregnant. Congrats to them. But did you watch any of that tournament, and what did you
Yeah.
think of it?
Yeah. I watched as much of it as I could before I had to switch to Bluey or Miss Rachel. Um, but no, man. I mean, it was kind of a back and forth tournament. It was like, Wyndham Clark was going into the weekend with a pretty substantial lead, and then 17 kind of ate him up. I saw the whole swing of where he stepped up to the ball, kind of kept looking up in the air, stepped off, and then he stepped
Mm-hmm.
back on, and then I'm assuming he clubbed up
Mm-hmm.
and went to try and punch something to kind of keep it low, but he hits like an inch and a half behind the ball, and you just see
Ooh.
it just comes out dead, and all of a sudden it's just like ball comes up 30 yards short, and he does his signature veiny neck, and just like no, um, just a tough up and down. I mean, he had a really good round going. Same with Matt Fitzpatrick was floating around at the top for a little while. And a really surprising kind of out of nowhere with Brian Harmon. I mean, Lefty was swinging in. I mean, I hope you got a good massage after the round with this whole neck, yeah, just back and forth.
Dude,
But
it's literally you should. I remember when he did that in the Open. Remember that? And you remember that meme that someone made, and it's like
mhm,
him waggling, and he just kept on changing what he was doing on the couch.
yeah,
And he's just like, "Dude, what is going on?" It's like the waggle kind of like 5,300. It's just like,
yeah, yeah.
uh,
But I mean, it was a really good turn. I mean, shoot, even Matsuyama had a great
mm-hmm,
tournament. He
mm-hmm.
was up there for a bit. I mean, Tagala was kind of floating around. You know,
Yeah,
Joel Damon actually finished almost top 10. He tied for 11th with Montgomery.
wow,
So
yeah,
it was a good tournament. I mean, it was kind of like as much as they were saying that the wind was swirling,
mm-hmm.
like it was I was happy with it. It was entertaining. I mean, especially on Sunday, dude. Like I was like, wow, Schauffele's got a chance, dude. He's got 3 holes to play. He's only
Dude.
he's only down by he's only down by one. He just
One
needs
shot, great
one birdie.
shots, just could
Yeah,
not hit the birdie, dude. He had great,
dude.
great approach shots, just could
Yeah,
not get it done. And then Scotty, what was it, 8 under on
yeah,
on the final round, just coming out of essentially nowhere to like,
yeah,
which always is kind of annoying in the terms of like if that happens, like if you miss it in the morning or earlier in the round, like and you weren't paying attention to the end, it's kind of just like, oh, that sucks. But dude, Wyndham Clark's lip out. How
Oh
insane
yeah,
was that? Like
that
that
was
he literally
in.
was like about to fist pump in like wow.
Yeah, the classic. Had it in her mouth, and then the kids walked in.
Oh,
No, but
oh
dude,
man.
that was heartbreaking. I watched that, and I was just like, my jaw dropped. I was like, "Are you kidding me? No way."
Dude, that must have hurt so bad. I
Well,
mean,
dude,
overall, yeah.
think about Scotty's putt on 18. Like, dude, he just missed that. That would
Yeah.
have put him at 21. Like,
Dude, like he was
yeah,
all in arms reach for like those three guys. Like I think
uh-huh.
Harmon was a few shots off, but it was really Xander and Wyndham who legitimately had shots Xander had some great approach shots. He just could not, like, you could put him 2 feet away from the hole and he just would miss that putt for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Well, when he made that bogey, you saw his
Ugh.
entire freaking his whole aura just changed. He was
Just
pressing.
dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you were talking about Wyndham when he on 17. Like, I feel like if you are that dedicated to golf, like we're not, like we enjoy golf. We obviously try to shoot the best that we can, but we're not like going to stand up and then back off and then stand up and then back off like 2 or 3 times, right? Like,
I would.
I mean, if obviously you would if there's that much money involved, but how often do you actually do that where you stop like 3 or 4 times, like and you're just playing a casual round? I'm going to say rarely, but I'm just saying if you have that kind of a mindset when you're going into it, 9 times out of 10 you're not going to have a good shot because you're not going to feel comfortable with it,
True.
especially if you have a club change. And you see with pros, they're human. You know, it is what it is. But that was crazy. I mean, I wanted Scotty to win, so sorry, Wyndham. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a nice payout. That was a hefty purse, 25 mil.
And then Don Julio was mentioning earlier that over the last month or 3 weeks that Scotty Scheffler's caddy has earned more money than
And Rory McIlroy.
Rory McIlroy. Now that is something that I'm sure Rory loves to hear, but you know he's been off his game for a while now, and
Well, I mean, you can't be the PGA, spokesboy and be able to focus on playing your game when you have to go do press conference after press conference after press conference. Like, I don't know. I don't like. Again, it's kind of like work, right? I mean, just like you and I, we've had conversations about this where it's like focus on what you can actually control. Like Rory, you're a puppet. Like I get you get paid. You're probably getting. Hopefully, you're getting paid for it.
yeah, oh
But
man,
but still, at the same time, dude, like, come on, just shut your mouth and play golf. Like that's all you got to do. I mean, look, Tiger's probably the most respected person within the entire PGA, and he's not even doing it. So you came second because you're like, oh well, you know, I don't believe in this. I think this is terrible. But it's like, dude, you bounce from the European Tour, then you go to the DT World Tour, then you go over back to the PGA. Like, what's the difference? Like, you're playing different tours just because they all kind of fall under the same PGA umbrella. That makes it okay. It's like, dude, you're just upset that you didn't take the opportunity to get paid now that everything has kind of come and you're seeing the true colors of everyone that you were essentially backing up since day one, and
that'd
now
be
you're
so
just,
frustrating,
now you're just eating your words at this point.
man. Yeah, I'd be extremely irritated if I was in position of his because he has so many like managers, family, friends that are just telling like in his ear as well, like dude, like they are not living up to this. You're basically the fall guy, and like
I think you bring up a good point. Like how much, I mean, between family, right? Like how much of that actually comes up? Like I feel like if that were me, like I'd be like, there's one rule when you come into my house, like do not talk about my work. Like,
I don't know. I mean, like you have to talk about it, right? Like you can't just hold that in, right? Like 100%. Like you have to let someone in on it, whether it's your wife, which you should probably
yeah, I'm
out
sure
of
his wife
everybody, right?
knows. Yeah,
But
yeah,
like other people as well, because you hold that stuff in, you're gonna blow up at one point. There's gonna be a boiling point, and we might have saw it a year or two ago when Rory had like that massive ripped shirt that he had in like the clubhouse. You remember that like a year or two ago, and it's like, well, Rory clearly like didn't like his performance. Look at his shirt, and you never. Like, it literally looked like an ape
yeah.
ripped his shirt. It was insane. But like those things bottled up are not going to end well. Like you have to talk about it, whether it's therapy or something. But I don't know. I mean, I
I
could
feel it.
easily see it like what you're saying too. Like, hey, don't
Yeah.
talk about golf. But I'll bring it up. That's it.
Well,
If I
well,
bring it up, that's one thing.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like with it being the PGA in particular, right? I'm sure there's probably some NDAs in place. I'm sure that there's things that, so it's kind of like, hey, like I know this, but kind of like your whole thing with, when you brought up the whole thing about Anthony Kim, right? It's like I had no idea that it was a drug issue, right? I just thought the guy just fell off the face of the earth. But you're like, yeah, I
Right.
have a
Right.
source. It's like it could be the same thing. So it's kind of like I don't know, man. I just feel like Rory like stop getting in front of the press. Maybe just give them the Marshawn Lynch, like, I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here
Yep.
so I won't get fined,
Right.
and just focus on your golf. I will say, like,
Mm-hmm.
it was awesome to see him come off the course and, you know, give his daughter a big old hug and his wife, and then he's like off to the range we go. Like, he's like, you want to hit some balls? Let's go hit some balls. And it's just kind of like, that's a good way to kind of take out some frustration, but at the same time, it's just like, dude, this, like, the last 2 seasons, these are your seasons. Like, you're not getting any younger, man, and you're
Mm-hmm.
crushing the ball like no one else's
Mm-hmm.
business. Like, for you to be able to do that and not take advantage is
Oh,
insane. I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Dude, it's great. But speaking really quickly, I didn't mention this to you, but about that source I was telling you about, I do have another source about something local. And I asked my source. I'm like, hey, am I able, like, to talk about this? Because, like, I'm like, hey, not many people listen to our podcast, so we can easily say it now, have it under the radar, and then when it does pop up, we can be like, hey, we said it first on our podcast, kind of a thing. And he's like, yeah, just don't mention the name, but you can, mention what's going on. And I'm like, okay, cool. So there's, and I'm not even gonna say the name, but you'll obviously understand who I'm talking about. So there's a particular live guy that's local to the area that is in talks of buying Madeira Golf and Country Club instead of Belmont, like we talked before. Apparently they've been struggling like terribly, Madeira Golf and Country Club, and so he's in talks to buy it for like $2 to $5 million, um, take over the whole thing, and like basically just take it over, and they'll take over all the covering all the other fees and stuff like that after. It's not, and so they're potentially going to lengthen it. They're going to try to build a brand new clubhouse. They're going to all new like practice facilities and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty sick. And yeah, I wanted to tell you, but it's just been a few days because we weren't able to do the podcast on time. But
yeah. I've just
you know,
been beat. I've just been beat with work and everything. But
ugh.
that's a 2.5 million. That's an absolute steal for that
No, two to
property.
five, 2 to 5, 2 to 5.
Still,
Right, right.
that's an absolute steal for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I've been in golf course negotiations. Like, that is an absolute steal in my opinion. And that club is full. It has full membership, so they got over 400 members, I believe. Um, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. It'll be sick. It'll be sick. So yeah, just throwing that out there. Anyway, back into
Yeah.
what we were talking about. So we're on the Players Championship, and actually now let's just jump into our rounds. Let me hear about your round at Yocha Dehi. I always have to like think about how to say this every time because I think I'm like, it doesn't sound right. Yocha Dehi. It just sounds like I'm saying it wrong. But how was your round last week?
It was good, man. We got paired up with some two really cool guys, Ruben and Par Parhill, I think his name was.
I haven't met a bad Ruben yet. It's a
Yeah, yeah. Ruben was cool. He literally, like, right on the second hole, Cart Girl comes by and he's like, "You guys want a shot?" And I'm like, he's like, "It's homeboy's birthday on Monday. Like, he's like, we're gonna have a couple." I'm like, "Sure, like, why not?" So we take a shot of Don Julio, which is nice.
of course,
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah. And so it was cool, man. Like, it was the first time I had ever played the course that wasn't from either like the golds or the tips. And we played from the whites just because, we were playing with these guys, and my buddy Bobby, who I was playing with, also was just kind of like, yeah, man, it's going to be a long day if we just go from back there. We might as well just play from the same tees. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, first hole, like, it's an elevated tee box, dead straight. And what's nice is, like, they basically entice you to just let it rip because the whole area is protected by environmental protection. So if you go out on the left or right of the hole, like, it's a free drop, right? You drop it in the middle of the fairway. It's like a local rule, and that's what it's. And the crazy thing is, it's on the first and second hole that
Meaning
you
if you
have
hit
that.
it out of bounds in this area or you hit it into
Mhm.
so and it turns into so if you hit your tee shot and you hit it into this, that means you put your second shot is in the fairway.
Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Sign me up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, you miss left all the time, so you'd have to purposely miss right.
Okay.
but,
Okay. Okay.
but
Okay.
um
Noted.
but anyway, so my first drive, dude, I just pummeled the ball, and it was about four. I think it's 450 from the whites on that tee box. Dude, I got up there and had 100 yards, and the guys were just like, "Bro, that ball just carried there. Like it was still a little wet, and they were like, that ball just carried there." I was like, "Yeah, man, I hit that one good."
Not
but
gonna lie,
uh,
it felt good.
but I had an awesome round. My wedges and mid irons felt great. Um, Ended up with a 69. Uh, I know everyone's probably gonna be like, "How come this guy doesn't post any of his good rounds?" Well, I brought my camera with my new tripod, everything, and I forgot the drive to put into my GoPro. So I
Yeah.
got a few clips where I felt like, okay, you know what, I should just put up my camera here with my iRange golf stick, and just
Mm-hmm.
stuck my phone on there and got a few shots. But it's
Yeah.
like it's hard to stick something in the ground when you're on the green,
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna get the shots, and that's that.
Man. Yeah, it looks sick, dude. That's unfortunately about the camera. I mean, yeah, so I played last Saturday at San Luis Obispo Country Club. First time for me ever playing out there, and dude, the course was beautiful, and
Yeah,
the
it
weather
looked great.
the weather was great. The only downside was I just had my GoPro in the sense compared to some of the other videos that I've had, where I have the actual camera and I zoom in on shots and things like that. This was just a steady shot, and it was like the course is immaculate. My only concern of ever playing in San Luis Obispo is that it could always be windy, it could always be cold. It's just I like playing in the heat. Being now in the valley for pretty much a decade now, I'm used to playing the heat. I prefer that, but I did not understand what to expect from this. They even had like little virtual flyovers of these holes on their website to show you like what to expect, and they did not do the undulation any justice. Like and on the video that I posted, I literally dubbed it the poor man's Augusta National. And the reason why was not just because it was an ice golf course, but because almost every single lie that wasn't on a tee box was not even. It was an uneven lie. Your feet were below the ball was below the feet, and you had a forward angle, back angle. Like it was so difficult, but it was also really cool. And the greens, I felt like they're running like at a 14, dude, or 15. They were so fast. I don't recall playing as fast as greens, and except for the first time I played in the Valley with Don Julio, and I was three putting everything. Um, like I think I shot an 83. I double bogeyed the last three holes, which was amazing. Two of them were right in the teeth of the wind, but just had bad shots, just chunked my shots. But I had five birdies, man. I had five freaking birdies. Almost had a hole in one. Almost literally slam dunked a hole in one. And that was my first. That was my first legit iron shot of the day because the other ones were on the range. It was all on turf, so I didn't really have a feel for it of what the grass was going to be. And I even asked like one of the pros there, I'm like, hey, like, how's the grass? Does it like give? Because like I'm practicing here and I'm from the valley and it's usually really hard, like what to expect. So yeah, it gives a little bit. And 183 yards out, dude, and I was about like 2 feet to the right with a 7 iron. I was like, holy crap, okay. And I lost 6 balls, dude, because of the undulation. Like you couldn't see where your tee shots were going to go, and there's on hole 10. I don't know if I told you this when you called me earlier, but hole 10 is a dog leg left par 5. And I played from the whites. I didn't want to play too far back. I didn't know the course. It was like a 470-yard par 5. And I hit mine over these trees on the left side. I'm like, crap, let's look for this ball. We looked for like 5 to 10 minutes, literally combing the whole area where it should be, right around there. No idea. There was a ball in the fairway right at the base of the fairway where it kind of breaks to the green, which is about 115 yards out. And the girl that I was playing with, my mom's boss, who works at Catanios, who's a member there that got me on, she topped her drive and then she hit a 3-wood and then topped that one. So that's the ball that we thought was there. We thought that was her ball the whole time we were looking. And then she gets up to the ball after we're on like, screw it, I'll just drop a ball, whatever. She goes, hey, are you playing a Titleist with like red markings on it? And I'm like, yeah, why? She goes, I think this is your ball. I'm like, what? There's no way. It ended up like 40 yards to the right of where it was, where the shot went and where the shot tracer went. And it must have hit cart path and just taken a crazy hop to the right or something, because there's no one down there. And I was about 115 yards out. And on that shot, if you look at the 10th hole, dude, like the green was literally sloped like this, or the hole was at the bottom of the hill, and the ball hits the top and just rolls all the way down. I am 15 feet, slightly uphill, a little break to the right, slight break to the right, and I 4-putt for bogey. And that day or the day before, I saw that meme, and it was like, hey, what'd you get on that hole? Bogey. Wait, didn't you get on in 2? And it has like that, like the meme where the guy's like tearing up, and he's like, that's exactly how I felt. Oh man, but it was a really cool course. If I get on again, I'd love to play it, but really fun. Like great, there's some great shots, as in like views, some really cool views from that course.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah, man. I mean, dude, I watched me and Adelina watched the whole video when we were just like reading books, and I just had it as like just something playing in the back. And then I had turned on the volume, and all of a sudden, I think it was the shot where you almost got the hole in one, and just the echo from like the surround sound. I was like, whoa. Oh, that sounded good. And all of a sudden it was like you're like, oh my god, that almost went in. Like, guys, this is crazy. And I was like, nice shot. But the only thing I noticed on some of the shots that you were hitting, it just looked like I didn't realize that you floated the driver. Did you just start recently doing that?
No, I've been doing that probably since like 2021. I've been doing that.
Oh shit, maybe I just never paid attention, but it just looked like when you would pick it up,
Mm-hmm.
like you'd see your bottom hand just
Mm-hmm.
shut a little bit more, and it's
Mm.
like
Yeah, I was hitting all my shots way left, dude.
well,
All way left.
literally right like on I think it was like right when you got to the back nine, and you were like, what is going on? And then you're like, give me another ball, right? And then
Yep, yeah. That was 9,
right,
dude. I'm like, I'm gonna
yeah,
go for this green.
yeah.
Yep,
And so the first one, you picked it up,
hooked
and
it.
I literally just saw your hand shut because your line was like right down the right side of the fairway.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden, the next one, you really tried to overcompensate, and you ended up just blasting a little heel shot to the right. And I was just like,
Yeah,
you're just turning the face just a hair. That was
yeah,
all.
yeah. No, that was. I totally know what you're talking about. And even on the range, dude, I was like, what the heck, man? And then like I think it was the third or fourth hole, I started raising my hands up a little higher. And then I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the higher I raise my hands, the more chance that I have to cut it or get a little more sliced compared to
Yeah,
keeping them more parallel. And so, yeah, it is what it is, but fun round
yeah,
overall.
dude. So I think I sent you both videos where with the 5 iron that was uphill at like 225, my shot off the tee box was just disgusting. Like I was aimed up the left side just to hit this net. I had been hitting like just a dead straight ball all day. I had maybe a few that were turning left and right, but I was squaring it up perfect.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I did different was I literally just slowed down my takeaway and really let my hands get back in the slot and then fired through. Dude, I mean, the marks on my driver from when I was hitting the ball was like as if I was just dead bullseye. The perfect print of the dimples
Ugh.
on my driver face, and I was like, dude, I think I figured something out. My buddy Bobby's like, dude, this is like the longest I think I've ever seen you hit your driver. And on that hole number 10, it's a par five, like all uphill. You gotta get a
Uh,
good ball in the fairway. And it was the only hole where we couldn't drive on the fairway throughout the entire course because it was wet.
yep, yep, yep.
So I I got a little quick, came over the top, and I literally hit this banana freaking slice. And I'm like, oh, please stay in. And it's like right on the edge, and it's sitting up perfect. And I was like, okay. I was like, so I got my rangefinder. I'm like, damn, 225. I was like I was
A little
like, it's a little
skeptical.
into the wind here.
Mm-hmm.
Like doesn't feel like it's gonna hurt a lot, but I was like, the ball's just sitting up perfect. Like it's gonna have no spin. Dude,
Mhm.
I tattooed that thing and it just like took off like a missile. Like the guy Parnell who was behind me, he was just like, he's like, dude, that's just another gear. And I was like, I tried to keep that smooth so it wouldn't get up so high, and it just kept going, bro. I hit the front of the bunker, and the ball just goes straight up and then comes down, and there's a back slope, so it'll bring it all the way back down. The
Wait,
ball
wait. So
literally.
it went past into the bunker and through it
So I hit no. So I hit the top, like the very top of the lip of the bunker that's in front. The
in the front.
ball
Okay, okay,
the
okay,
ball shot up. The ball shot up,
okay.
and then it had like no spin, so it ran up, goes up towards the thing, and I'm assuming it just came back. But I had like a 6 foot putt for eagle. Um, that was just breaking. I mean, dude, all I had to do was breathe on that thing, and it was just going to take off. I literally just like picked up my putter, didn't even take it back, and just pressed it forward. It was going the whole way, and then dude, it broke 2 cups to the right side and like rolled out like 4 feet past, and I'm like, oh my god. Like my buddy Bobby was just in complete disbelief. He's like, I've never seen anything like that. I'm like, I didn't even think it was gonna break like that. I was like, dude, did you see that? It literally just swerved. It's like it just took a 90-degree turn and said, nope, we're not even gonna go near the hole. And then it rolled out some. And then I was like, I'm just gonna
Dang.
hammer this thing to the back of the cup, and I just hammered it. It like goes in, and I was just like, oh man. I was like, could you imagine if that eagle would have gone in?
Oh, dang, that's awesome, dude. Oh,
Yeah,
man, yeah.
yeah,
I had a few shots at eagle, uh, a few of them, and I missed both, obviously. But dude, those are always awesome, especially when you're able to hit a shot that you want from a far distance. You're just like,
yeah,
okay, okay, starting to feel
yeah.
good. Okay,
So,
but
so did you hear the big news, dude? It's finally happening. We're gonna get a Happy Gilmore too.
took about 30 years.
It took them 30
But
years, but it's gonna be a Netflix original.
oh man,
And I don't know, man. Well, is it too soon to take any predictions? Like, I mean, how high are your expectations for this movie now that it's been announced it's coming out?
well, if I'm gonna be raw and unfiltered, 100%, I'm gonna say that because of all the woke ideology that they're probably trying to throw in there. Not the hope that I don't really have too much that I don't really put it up too high, should I say? I don't know how I'm blanking right now, but I do have predictions. I don't think it'll be amazing, but I'm also like, okay, what like does Happy Gilmore have a kid? Does his
That's
kid and
exactly what
Shooter
I was thinking.
McGavin?
That's exactly what I was
His kid and
thinking.
Shooter McGavin's kid, or like Shooter's kid is like top of PGA.
Yeah.
What is it? Happy's kid is top of Live.
I
You know,
I
like
was thinking no, it's not gonna have anything to do with live. I was thinking that I forget what that woman's name is that Happy ends up being with.
mhm. I forget her name too, but yeah, I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
so I'm thinking that the movie's gonna open up and Happy and her are gonna like be going through a hard time because Happy's not able to have kids because all of his training for for
about. For hockey.
for hockey,
No way.
his nuts are all messed up and he can't conceive a kid. But David Spade somehow falls into this story, right? And him and Missy somehow pull into the story. They have a kid, right, from the wrong Missy.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, they have a kid, but like you said, with the woke ideology, right? They're gonna have a girl who loves golf but also loves hockey, who then decides to take some hormone stuff, and then ends up going against Shooter's kid, who's like the number one golfer in high school.
Dude, what if you
I'm
flip
telling
that?
you,
What if you flip that and you have a boy who isn't good enough for the high school golf team boys, so he joins the women's high school golf team, and
Peter McGavin's kid is
yeah, it's a daughter. Yeah, dude. I mean, like it just be interesting. I mean, like when they do these movies
If
that
that
are
happens, I'm
just so
turning it
late.
off.
Exactly. I mean, like, but like when they have these movies that are like 30 years later because like it became a cult following. Not like this movie became a cult following, but like you had 5 years after the movie was made to make a remake. 10 years, not a remake, but a second one. 15 years, 20 years to make remakes. But like, are they going to call up Will Zalatoris, the caddy, to finally, relive his dream on the PGA Tour? I don't know.
Hey, I mean, I'm assuming that kid may be a little bit older but hey, it could be a cameo for Will Zalatoris to come in and do
Dude.
something. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I mean, look, like, oh my God, Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler made a good point. It's just like there's just some movies that maybe are not made to have a sequel, and he's like, it's just one of those ones that we'll just never know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess now they're just kind of like, well, let's see. Maybe they have a good enough story to where it's like, it aligns. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Sorry, I'm hoping it doesn't have any woke initiatives. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see it just be, funny and kind of follow up all the other great movies that Adam Sandler's been making with Netflix. That kind of have like the raunchy comedy to them. But
Right.
yeah.
I mean, we
It's
can
just
only
still
hope.
exciting. Yeah, it's still just exciting that it's coming out. It is
Something to
very
look
long
forward to,
overdue.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. But yeah, so I think we can wrap it up on Valspar. Is it the Valspar Championship or Valspar
Valspar
Open?
champion
Vals
Valspar champion at the Copperhead course in Palm or in Florida.
Vegas. Oh, it's in Florida.
No, it's in Florida. I think they're playing
Okay.
in Palm Harbor, I think is what it is. Palm Harbor. But purse is 8.4 mil.
It's clearly not enough with no one big names wanting to win it. I mean, like,
Bro, yeah, Jordan got cut. Like the only big name that's really up there is like, I mean, Matt Kuchar's in there, and
he's like 70 years
I
old,
think
but good for him.
I think Justin Thomas is in like a 6-way tie for 6, and then you got what, Stewart Sink,
Mm-hmm.
Chandler, Phillips, Hughes, Todd, and
Is
Steve
Baddeley still
Striel.
number one? Is Baddeley still number one? Is he still leading?
No, it's Stewart.
Okay, because
Yeah,
back
those are.
in last year, Julio and I, when we went to the Pro-Am, Aaron Baddeley was actually one of the few guys that we saw on the first tee while we were waiting and watching that all go off. I think for the fourth round, we saw him, Harry Higgs. Is it Harry Higgs?
Yeah,
Harry
yeah.
Higgs. And then we saw, what's the guy? There's a guy from Canada. Oh, I'm blanking on his name.
I don't even remember.
I can see his face right now, but we saw a few guys. But Aaron Baddeley, the only reason I always remember him, he reminds me of like if there was a movie to be made about Aaron Baddeley. Who's the long drive? Kyle Berkshire would be the guy that would be his actor, because like Kyle Berkshire has the same exact hair as him, and you don't see too many guys out there just with long straight white hair, like not white but like a white person's hair that's just straight, like it
Yeah,
doesn't like have like a comb or like a flow, like you have for baseball or anything like that. It's just literally just got, it's like interesting.
it's just straight.
Yeah, just very straight.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
you were saying something about a guy who made the cut, or one of the Cinderella stories in the
Oh
Valspar.
yeah,
What's up with that?
so the kid, so there's an amateur from the Corn Ferry, I think, who he got he won his
Exemption.
way. Yeah, he got an exemption to come play. Um, I think his name is Nick Gabrielic, like Gabe. It's Gabriel, and then I believe it's spelled CIK at the end. Gabrielic. Fired off a 67. Kid was in contention for going into, I think, today, or no, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fired off a good round. But
That's awesome.
that's yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a round for that course, and especially with some of the weather conditions that you've been hearing, it's like that's a heck of a round to go play.
Yeah, especially with, like you said, with the leaderboard, they need something to get people to watch, because it's the Valspar. I mean, in the past, it's just like one of those tournaments that's like, eh. And apparently, a lot of these PGA Tour players are getting irritated with these elevated events that aren't really worth it. Like, they're just like, this is pointless. Like, I don't understand. like what they're
Well, look,
doing.
I
And
mean, look, man, it's like what we said in our past podcasts is like the PGA has to do something to continue to be, or I guess continue to set the set the tone for them being the tour, right?
mm,
So
hmm.
this is where it's just kind of like it's a hard transition. I mean, Live is just disrupting everything that what we what we've thought golf is all about for so long.
Hmm.
Dude, like how many times have you gone to the range and you got music bumping in your
I
ears,
always
right?
listen to AirPods, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I'm always listening to
exactly.
music. Yeah.
So that's what I mean is like now it's just kind of like getting guys in a little bit more relaxed kind of, it's just a relaxed mood. Like it's
Hmm.
different, and I think the number one thing is like it's cool to see guys wearing shorts. You got Anthony Kim who doesn't even want to tuck his shirt in. Like it's all right.
Yeah.
But still, it's just yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. It's still just very interesting.
Yeah.
It's still
I
very
mean,
interesting.
yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with Live and PGA. It seems like they're getting closer and closer to merging, but at the same time, like no one knows anything. There's not too much that's going down. Apparently, Rory played around with the owner of the Live, right? Did you hear about that? Where
Hmm.
he got around in, and dude, it'd be so freaking funny if Rory ended up going to Live. Oh my
I
gosh,
think.
for like
I
50
mean, if it's
million.
dude, I think if it's there for him, he should. And 50 million, no way, dude.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. I'm saying just like such like a slap in
Yeah,
the face. Like,
yeah.
yeah, if you would have before, yeah, we would have gotten like 500 million, but
Yeah,
now
we
it's
would
like
have get
F like
we would
screw
have
you,
got
dude.
you somewhere around Tiger,
Yeah,
would
right,
have got you some ownership for sure. But no, you know what? Like we'll do it for 1 million.
right. You
Yeah,
should just be happy to be here, man. You were not going to be the
yeah,
fall guy anymore. You know that stress that should be
yeah,
worth about 500 million right there, right? Not having to
yeah.
worry about that.
Exactly. Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see. Like again, I think everyone's still waiting with anticipation as far as like what is really going to be the play here, what's going to happen.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
but till then, PGA definitely needs to figure something out to continue to bring in more youthful. It's kind of like in Happy Gilmore, he's bringing in more youthful sponsors. The ratings are up like no other. Kick him off the tour. He's a disgrace to the game.
But yesterday I saw, what was it? Yesterday I saw a couple of bikers having sex in the woods. How am I supposed to putt with that going on, Doug?
That's great. Go back to your shanties.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like you gotta have Happy Gilmore going to Live or something with that movie. That'd be freaking hilarious because like it's the perfect thing where like Happy in like a another world is like Live and like Shooter is the PGA.
Dude,
You know?
have freaking dude. It would be perfect. Have Bryson DeChambeau be Happy Gilmore's kid, right? Just all out power, right? And then it comes down to like the final showdown for like the state championship or something. I don't know, for like the city championship. These two guys have been going back and forth. I don't know who would be shooters guy, but I mean maybe Jordan Spieth or Justin Thomas, or I don't know who else would be like
Roy
a
McIlroy. Let him go with the
no,
Irish
because he's
accent.
Irish. No, he's Irish. It doesn't. I ruled. I thought about him, but I ruled him out really quick.
I'm trying to think like who's the pony who's like the golden child. Maybe not Xander. Justin Thomas.
That's what I said. I said have Bryson and Justin Thomas. Oh, dude, just
Okay.
have Brooks Koepka. Have Brooks
Oh,
Koepka.
now we're talking.
Yeah,
No,
just
but
bring back.
then you would think that it'd be flipped in the sense that you keep Brooks on the Live, but then Bryson would be like such like a goody two shoes kind of guy compared to Brooks, which is known as like a bad boy kind of a
Yeah,
vibe, right?
but I'm saying you gotta keep
The long
Bryson.
driver.
Yeah, you gotta keep
Okay,
Bryson as the
yeah.
long driver with the long
No.
driver, and then basically Brooks, just the overall game. He's got distance. He's got workability. Go to the real player, right?
Hmm.
And basically, here they are, 30 years later. Their kids are all grown up, going off the Corn Ferry, right? Trying to get the last
Man.
PGA Tour card of the year. Who's gonna get it?
A hole in one on a par four to get his secure his card. Oh my gosh.
The disappointing part is Brooks still has to play out the hole to finalize his score.
How am I supposed to play with that going on? Oh
Dude, that's
man.
such a good line.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, hey, I think that's it for now, right? It's a good thing to wrap up on golf wise.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I mean, I know we've just eclipsed 650 followers or subscribers on YouTube. I know it's peanuts, but we're trying to work our way up to 1,000 so we can get monetized. So if you guys haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm constantly trying to drop some shorts daily or every other day to try and get some followers in there. And Don Julio and I are trying to set up another round, whether it'll be at Carmel Valley Ranch, whether it'll be in Monterey at the end of this month or something. We're trying to set something up. Our schedules have not been able to get synced, unfortunately, to get another round and get some more content. I was even thinking of maybe doing a round or 9 holes of alternate shot, changing it up a little bit and then, maybe another 18 holes just to play, just to get some footage. But again, thank you guys for your guys' support of listening to us just ramble, talk about golf. And yeah, don't forget to stay fly and go low, and we will see you next week.
Yep. See you later, guys. And